Hi, my friends. Welcome to tip of the day number 2, which is to schedule a time for worry. And what that looks like is you pick a time, maybe 5 p.m. at the end of the workday, maybe it's late at night after the kids have gone to bed, where you are solely focused on exploring your concerns, the things that are worrying you, the thoughts that swirl in your mind, and actually trying to go deep on them and bring action towards some of those things. And then every other time those thoughts come up during the day, you say, wait, I hear you, I recognize you, and I respect you, but now is not the time for me to deal with you. That is the responsibility of future Heather at, say, 5 p.m. So you will be heard, thoughts, but not right now. Right now, I'm gonna put you on the side, I'm gonna go about my day. And in that way, you're recognizing and respecting and honoring all the things that you are thinking about and concerned about, but you're not letting them control you. You're not letting them seep into every other moment of your day. And so I want to tell a story about how I made this a little bit real for me, and it goes back to my COVID-19 adventures in Singapore. It was actually when I was in Singapore, and I was debating whether or not to come back to the States. And I could not make up my mind. I thought, it's relatively safe in Singapore, but home is with mom. And it was like a ruthless ping pong match. I couldn't make up my mind of, which direction to go. And so I was in a situation where I had rented a room in an apartment, had paid a down payment, had paid my first month's rent, and I also had a ticket for the next morning going back to the States that I'd booked on points, easy cancellation, but I hadn't yet canceled it. And I was still going back and forth. And I woke up the morning before my flight. My flight was like at, 9 a.m. I would have to leave for the airport around 5:30 or 6. So I woke up the morning before my flight and I talked to one friend. And at the end of the conversation, I was like, oh, I think I'm leaning toward going home. And then I talked to some other friends, and then I was like, oh, I think I'm going to stay in Singapore. And I was so tired of this. I was so tired of the back and forth. And I finally said, you know what? I give up. I am not going to decide. I am going to flow. I'm very curious what I'm going to do tomorrow morning, but right now, for today, I'm just going to enjoy the day. I'm going to put this aside. I'm not going to think about it. I'll have to make a decision and I'll know tomorrow morning what I've done. But until then, I'm just gonna flow and see what happens. And I did. It was so amazing to put that aside. I had the most beautiful day. I think for the first time in a week, I wasn't constantly thinking about what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I did meditation. I did some yoga on the roof. I thought, if it is a potential that I might go home tomorrow, I should pack my suitcase. So I did that. And then I just kind of took the day as it came. And it was beautiful. I felt so much at peace. And then in the evening, I talked to my Balinese best friend. I said, I still don't know what I'm going to do. And he looked at me and he said, Heather, go home. Your mom misses you, go home. And I said, okay. And I think because I was in such a state of flow and peace, when he made the suggestion, I just kept flowing with it and had a lot of peace about it too. And here I am. But I just tell that story to say, even when we have a lot of worries and concerns, even when we can't stop thinking about them, it's possible to put it on the side, to delegate it to future you. And that is what I encourage you to do, maybe once a day, maybe a couple times a day, but limit the times where you're actually letting some of those concern thoughts, worrying thoughts, occupy your mental headspace. So I hope you found this inspiring. I will see you tomorrow for tip number 3. Thanks.